Boy, oh boy, this is a major one as it appears the supercomputer, 5'0" Dillon Gabriel, may be getting released from the Cleveland Browns. Just one season removed from being a third-round pick. We have to get into this story. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video as well. We have to get into this here. Now, we have a Cleveland Browns insider who is giving some information about Browns' new head coach Todd Monken plan, and he does plan to add some sort of another quarterback into the mix. Regardless, it might be somebody like another quality veteran backup like a Tyler Huntley, and point of the matter is Dillon Gabriel appears to be the odd man out, and it looks like he may be getting cut by the team. Let's get to it right here. Let's get right into it, man. This is wild. This is on what is this? Locked on Browns.
But that's where I stand on it right now. And speaking of things looking different, I think there's one obvious person in the room who's probably the odd man out in a situation where the Browns add to the room. We'll talk about that coming up next. Matched Me. They do a really good job of assessing deserves at Indeed.com/LockedOnToday. And thank you for making the Locked On podcast every other major podcasting platform. Want to become an everydayer, in Deshaun's case, revive his career. I just think he's probably going to make at least one tweak, one addition. That's somebody that he identifies this offseason as a body, as an arm that they want for the quarterback room. And if there's an odd man out in this group, because at some point, if you add somebody to the room, which they will, because they always go with 4 in the offseason, someone ultimately is going to be the odd man out. And to me, it feels obvious that it would be Dillon Gabriel. Like, imagine if they draft a quarterback. Let's start with that scenario, where they draft a quarterback in the draft. I am not expecting it to be somebody in the first round or two, but if they draft somebody in the third round or the fourth round or the fifth round, like they did last year in the third and the fifth, that's another project. That's another quarterback that Todd Monken then has to sort of develop. Do we really think that the Browns are going to go into the season with 3 young quarterbacks that all need sort of a longer runway to be developed, and then Deshaun Watson as their veteran? I just don't see that. I think they'd probably stick with the guy Monken drafted. They'd pick one of the 2 from last year, and then Deshaun's kind of here because he's stuck here and they can't get out from under his contract right now until maybe next year. So that sort of feels like how that scenario plays out, but keeping 3 guys that are all projects just seems like, is the runway long enough for Monken to develop both Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel and then another rookie on top of that? I just don't think that's like reasonable to think.
All right, man. That was his, and they also addressed this on 92.3 The Fan, man. Dillon Gabriel might be getting cut from this team.
Open to the prospects of what could happen at quarterback.
Except for Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel is just
I've already traded him like 10 times already this offseason, so
Atlanta
I don't know what to tell you.
does have a 4th-round pick.
I have done every...
Yeah, man. Kevin Stefanski, you can come on and get Dillon. But as of now, man, Dillon Gabriel might be cut, man. Dillon Gabriel might be out there on the street looking for a job, looking for a practice squad spot somewhere or something if he gets released, man, because the way he played, I don't see a team just jumping to sign him. So it looks like he's the odd man out.
Convo with the idea that Dillon Gabriel's not going to be on the team.
I think everybody has.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of one of those things.
Which is what I'm okay with, because I don't think he's interesting. But I just think that's interesting because he is their highest draft pick in that room from last year's draft.
It was a Stefanski guy, though.
I mean, Todd Monken doesn't like Dillon Gabriel.
They've already gotten that cleared. It's a Stefanski guy. There's no...
That's actually what we
Andrew
need.
Berry doesn't have to hang on to that in any sort of way. The fan base has already given him the old Peterlin pass for that.
Yeah, but you shouldn't just...
Peterlin pass.
He's good.
You shouldn't just
wipe
discount...
your hands clean of it.
You shouldn't. If I'm sitting here and I don't think Dillon Gabriel has got the goods. I think I've made that clear. I've made tiny hands jokes. I've made you must be this tall to ride this ride kind of things.
Yeah.
At the same point, like, he's on the roster. You did take him with a top 100 pick. I don't care who drafted him. Unless you can get value for him, why shouldn't he be a part of the quarterback derby?
Well, I don't even know what that value is, by the way. It'd be interesting to find out. Like Keith's saying, if you can get a fourth rounder, you're not getting a fourth rounder for Dillon Gabriel.
Then he's here next year.
I don't know that you're getting. I don't even know that you get a seventh rounder for Dillon Gabriel at this point, unless Stefanski was like, "Let's do this and we'll really make this work."
I think there are more people that still like Dillon Gabriel a year later and will give him the Peterlin pass. I don't know.
Pass.
I don't know to a fourth round, but the idea that people were going to spend a fourth round, and the Browns weren't the only team that were going to spend a fourth rounder on him. I know they're the only team to spend a third rounder on him, but the idea that there were teams offering them a fourth rounder last year. If you look at the Browns and go, he had no O-line, no wide receivers, and his head coach was about to be fired.
Yeah.
I think it would be it would be crazy to me if all of a sudden the best you could get for him is a 6th-round pick.
Can Monken find the good in him as well? Because I made the argument that I think Monken can find the good in Deshaun Watson because he's one of these guys that it reminds me of Coach Riz in many aspects where they just find the good in all these quarterbacks. I'm sure he can find plenty to like about Dillon Gabriel if he wants to.
Yeah, he should. That's why the idea, because here's the thing. Again, I need it to be said because I don't want another show to pick up this audio that's going to be clipped by Keith and then go, well, I don't know what it means when you listen to a 30-second clip when there's a whole 15-minute segment on it. So let me be very clear here.
Okay.
I don't think Dillon Gabriel has got the goods, but I'm not the rest of the NFL. And if Kevin Stefanski gets a pass for what the Browns offense looked like, if pretty much everybody that was on the offense gets a pass beyond Shedeur Sanders because the offense looks like crap,
but I'm also
then theoretically I can't just sit here and go, well, I'm going to give Shedeur this pass, but not the other quarterback they drafted.
But I'm also going to sit here and understand their circumstance and how it's different, how it's changed since Stefanski isn't here. And I think that's the big part of this. Do I believe that Stefanski is the one that loved Dillon Gabriel? Yes, I do. And so, like, if you're Andrew Berry, you just don't have to have the loyalty to Dillon Gabriel that you maybe once did, or at least what Kevin Stefanski once showed him. Like, that's what we're talking about.
No, fair, but you also don't have to throw him out of bed for
You don't
nothing.
have to. No, if they run it. No, but if they look at it and say we want to draft a quarterback instead, then you're out of numbers. Like you've lost the spots. That's where Dillon Gabriel loses his job. If they don't draft a quarterback or they don't find anybody in free agency that they like, yeah, there's just as realistic as a possibility that it's Shedeur versus Deshaun to open up the season. There's a realistic possibility that Dillon Gabriel could be the third quarterback in that mix as well.
If we're asking people to be open-minded about Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders, then we should probably be open about Dillon Gabriel too. And that's not an endorsement.
Dillon can't. He's just not good enough. I'm sorry. He can't see over the line. He's just not talented. When you are that size, you have to be a super talent. And I'm not a big Kyler Murray fan. Kyler Murray is leaps and bounds, light years ahead of Dillon Gabriel in God-given ability and talent. And that is, Kyler Murray has the type of talent you need to be that little to play quarterback. And I'm not big on him. He's not one of the better quarterbacks. Dillon Gabriel is just not talented enough to be that little and to be a quarterback. He's just not good enough. It is what it is. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. This Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel.